Are we ready for
I want
testing the next game?
go for it. We have 3 more games to go. We don't have any behind the scenes for those 3, but they're still great games. You will be very surprised by the first of those 3 games.
The last he amazed you. Keep
exactly.
watching.
We have 3 games for you. The first one will amaze you, exactly. But it will though. So you have to take my word for it.
I take your word and I judge you before this year.
It's like you're still here, aren't you? So so far so good. Yeah.
How Deepr is here, and I have to enter your comment about working after jam. Okay. I pick a username, and the sound is on. Character is.
I gotta go back on there and try and find.
Why? Okay, recent post. Oh, what is this? There are ratings. There are images. There are no sound. Okay. The music is found of the world of tour. My post. Okay. There are nothing here. Yes. Yeah. I can write something new, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Be quite deep, but you can dig deeper. Replace the word in the text to create the deepest or funniest code possible. Okay. It's a website for sharing some deep code and vote it for leaderboard thing.
Yeah. It's basically like a social media. They came up with the social media doing that job. That's what I found. That's what I found really really interesting. Maybe a bit comparably to the first game we tried as well. But you can just to show a bit the breadth of the different things you can do and come up with during that game jam. And I think I found them because they left a comment on our Ludum Dare ldjam.com page. Actually, that's how I'm going to find back my little deep thing that I came up with.
Yeah, share with us.
I'm like the only one on the whole page that shared the thingy they wrote. But 3 people put a heart on it for what that's worth.
And thanks for your follow, Ashrial.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Do you want to say a funny thing about that, Jan? I might bug the thing. Yes. I bug the thing again, and I have some wrong.
No way.
Yeah.
You have to click on them and then Oh no way! Oh damn.
Yeah.
True.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I did think bug again.
Club Med. What the The funny thing is, I was thinking, we'll need to send them a link to the video, but by the time it's on YouTube, they'll have forgotten about their Ludum Dare 48 project. But no matter, we'll link it to them or whatever when it's up. I was. That's also the feedbacks I sent them, because I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, it's they made a whole website where you can like share deep quotes. That is so cool, because I have like a list of my favorite quotes, like literally hundreds of quotes in there on Facebook. It's like, okay, let's get to it. And actually, you had to like do it word by word. So I was like, oh, whatever. I'll just write some gibberish then.
Do you want to see the leaderboard actually and wrecked about the code?
Leaderboard?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, why? My ultimate
goal
is to simply make people disapprove and watch why they'll do so.
Wow, that is it is pretty good. It is pretty good.
The second all babies were born. Yeah. Just simple.
I mean,
I like it.
Just say the truth. Okay, keep going down. I want to see if mine is in there somewhere. Am I in the top 10? 10? On the top 20? On the top 100?
But what is your pseudo on this site? Stranger Jan 2?
Yes, most likely Stranger Jan. I mean, I'm not that original in this respect.
It's only the top 55.
I don't think it's there. 15.
15.
Well,
yeah.
It's on the ldjam.com page.
Reviews was where I'm pretty thirsty on baby.
But again, I mean, I just wrote a bunch of gibberish, so to be honest, it's not that. Because the thing is, in the top 15, all of
see
them made
that?
actual sentences. So.
I'm glad they have become much more damaging to society at a Soviet school.
Whoa, that's oddly specific.
And
one day ago as well.
With that, I have the pitch, near the pitch of the out of gas game. My first semester, I had a gun teaching reverse accounting. Gun accounting?
Yeah, reverse accounting, yeah. Maybe you can imagine it. God.
I look at my family tree and I found out I was the best.
Yeah, I don't know how they made their code and stuff, and the fact that it goes and how to say picks things up from like a random images bank. It works well. It works well. I don't know if it's a game per se, more of a toy again. But yeah, I just found it super original. I was really happy to stumble upon it.
How many pages there are?
Like there's also like one gold mine that they managed to tap into. If you give a game with like enough content and stuff, like just where people can leave a mark for the Ludum Dare, is just a perfect storm. You know, you're gonna have lots of people that just want to leave a little thing in there. So I found that really interesting as well. You know, if you can do that during a Ludum Dare, which in itself is enough of a challenge, but make a little game or a little thing where everyone can like leave a little mark. I think the format works really well for that. So
I'm
they
agree
really
with
got
you.
it there.
It's just scoring because I want to see the logic, how my main question with when you write thing like that, a social media, how do you sort your images? How do you sort your info? How do you sort it? And I didn't understand. 2 weeks ago, perhaps the rating, but here 1 week ago with more rating than other, I think perhaps is random. Perhaps.
From the top 15, there were a whole bunch that were made like yesterday. It said so. It's still active. It's pretty amazing.
1 day ago, okay, yeah. But it's in the top because there are one rating and one max rating. I didn't understand why.
I don't know how their rating works. That's true.
How?
Like,
Because
is it the grade you give, or is it how many people gave the grade? Then again, they have a comparable system on ldjam.com for the rating you get for your game. So I mean.
with the same thing, because we did not understand how it's work and see and contemplate how can you do that? How magic science? Okay, it's nice not game nice discover, Jan, I think.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it was to me it was worth our while just to show. Yeah, it's just, and again, you know, the whole concept of thinking outside the box is like, okay, well, I'll do a little game. Well, these guys didn't, and they made something quite interesting, I find. So just to show, you know, the breadth of all the possibilities.
I'm really inspired by their appropriation of the time of the game jam, and I just curious for how which team made that, and how they think about that. What I mean to say, it's there are these projects that are before anterior project with the same thing or not.
There's 4 people that made that game, and I'm checking it now.
Nice.
There's 4 of them. I'm following all of them now. Of course I am.
Of course.
Yeah, we have some people that took part in like a bunch of other game jams. Do they have a recurring team? They have a part of a recurring team, it seems.
Perhaps because
games with the same people.
I didn't think currently game jam with the current situation. I think there are less and less physical jam which you take your team, and more pre team assembly for the game jam.
Like people that already already have a team that just put it back together and do it online. On one hand, yes. On the other, for example, for the Global Game Jam of January, right? I had been partaking in Paris in Isart.
Okay. Is
Really
art?
specific for people who don't know Paris, but yeah. For like
School.
4, yeah, it's actually it's a
Name
video
of the
game
school.
school.
Yeah, video game.
4 years in a row, and then this year it didn't happen because COVID. And I found a Discord in Nantes. Actually, like the people putting it together were from Nantes, which is the city where I was born and where I grew up. And they made a whole structure where you could meet people and put a team together in the Discord. Like everyone just comes one by one, and then you will join the people who have the pitch you like best, which we're going to try to do next month. As in, it's more complicated, and as I was saying when you were eating, I do miss coming to a game jam, in the flesh, as you say. But still, it's possible, and I do believe that those sort of how to say ways to make things happen without the physical presence of all the members will emerge from the current COVID situation, because we see that at work as well. More and more ways to work from home and stuff like that. Like what is it? Like necessity is the mother of invention, right?
Yeah, I'm totally. But I have a question. I have a question for you. And I know it's not argumented, not a documented answer, but how many percent do you think game jam are made by pre-made team, and how a new team? I think it's majority pre-made team.
You mean all game jams in general?
All game jam, or Ludum game jam, Ludum Dare,
Ludum.
Example. Ludum, for example.
Ludum possibly. Because the thing with Ludum is that, because like for just regular small scale jams, you just come to in the flesh. I think it's mostly not pre-made teams. But for Ludum, possibly, because with the whole scoring system and everything, I think it encourages also people to come back, with people they know they work well with, and to do the games for the scoring a bit. On the other hand, I wouldn't bet on that. I'm pretty sure we could find some info and some stats online and stuff, because the thing is that for the really or for the successful teams, possibly all together, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure, because I think when you want to make video games, made something like that, and it's your jam, it's your passion, it's your pleasure. I think you oftenly guys, people in general, made game with friend and person we already know, because it's I'm producer, you are producer too in game jam, and you know how difficult it be to conciliate everyone, and how can be frustrating can be made.
How can you have a good experience in a team with just strangers?
Yeah, and we talk about game jam, but we can talk about everything. Perhaps with role-playing game. It's the same for me. You have to start with friend. I think start with 100 person can be hard. I think, I'm not sure, but
no,
for me,
I'm thinking back, and like the first Ludum Dare I took part in, Ludum Dare 37, was my second jam, knowing that my first jam was part of the degree I made. So like, everyone just, hey, you guys, you all partake in a jam, like it or not. And then the second one, which was the first one I took part in because I felt like it. That was my choice, and it's because Horace, a good friend of ours, was like, hey, you guys, I'm partaking in a jam, come with me. You may be right. The thing also is, and with your parallel with role playing, is that is there a structure that exists to find a team on the spot? And with Ludum Dare, it's a bit more complicated. You can go on the Discord and stuff, but altogether, if you're like, you know what, I'm going to put my weekend aside, my whole weekend, I'm just going to do that thing. It's much better. You feel safer if you have like a guarantee you'll have a team. Otherwise, just going there, like, oh, you know what, we'll see what happens. It does feel more uncommon. You may really well have a point. That's why we need a bigger community to ask them and to
do some straw poll and you know what?
Polls and some stats and some like 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 pie charts and shit. But yeah, you may be right. You may be right. It makes more sense at the end.
Perhaps of their alternative choice with the team is half pre-made and half recruiting, because you are on Discord channel, guys like Horace say, hey, come here, and you go with Horace with a little pre-made and you recruiting in the site.
Yeah. That's happened before in one jam in particular, where we arrived with like a huge team, and then maybe we gave off the impression that we were like most prepared, and then some people there were like, "Hey, we really like your pitch, we'll come with you." And then you're right too, and everything in between, aka pre-made team with some people that also join once you've pitched. That's totally true.
Because I think about a thing about that. How do you fin the jam? For fanning the jam, you have to know some people, some jam thing, how do you find a new jam, a new event, a new opportunity in your life?
How to find it. Yeah. That's complicated. I think that's also a bit why I put Team Choo Choo together. Is because I've actually never spent that much time looking for game jams, and I'd always be really frustrated. Well, like again, Horace be like, "Oh, hey, like I took part in a really great jam last week." Like, what? Last week?
Why didn't you?
I didn't know. Why didn't we even say something? So that's also the idea that everyone maybe knows about one or two jams happening, and then if we can all put it together, then for each one we can put a team together and we know what's going on. The one-stop shop for game jam, especially in COVID times at the moment, is itch.io/jam. All the jams are jam. There's a lot of formats, a lot of things, and there's always like plenty going on at the same time. But how do you find them? It's about a community. It's just having a bunch of discords and having some people that are into it. Again, friends who also partake in game jam. At the end of the day, game jams cannot really happen without a community. At the end, and that's also what we see on atthejam.com. It's a community which makes jams possible. So definitely there's a correlation. I mean, it's
I think in the end of the game, you need to know something about the jam for participating in the jam and having some friends.
So it happens. Yeah.